What's going on? My name is Kavale. You are now watching The Process on HipHopGuru TV. If you haven't already, check out Timestamp, available on all streaming platforms.
We ain't getting younger. Plus, you know all about me. Won't give a reason to doubt me. Just have a little faith in me. Just a little.
The process for me is to not overthink. You know, I just try to have fun. I go in the studio sometimes. It's not even, work immediately. It's just we go in there and we just sit down and we talk about music and about life, and sometimes we talk about, whatever it is that we feel like we need to talk about at the moment. We talk about it, listen to music, seek inspiration, or listen to something, in a different genre that we probably wouldn't listen to, normally. And then from there, we kind of just slowly start building onto something and work on production or lyrics and, just build the whole vibe from there, honestly.
You came a long way from where you started. Yeah, okay. This been all about you, don't switch your topic. Yeah, okay. All these eyes on you, don't rush your process.
I wouldn't say one person necessarily influenced my style. I think it's just, being a fan of music and, pulling from different artists and different genres. But to name a few, I could say Kanye West was a huge reason, for the start of my journey. Frank Ocean and, of course the Jay-Z's, Biggie, Tupac, the legends, Andre 3000, just to name a few, so, yeah. What was the other question, sorry? After the inspiration?
How do you separate yourself from other artists?
I'm just not boxed in, honestly. I'm versatile. I can do anything. I can do anything as a musician. So, I feel like that's where the separation comes, And maybe it's a gift and a curse, not having that one sound, but to me, I don't like to be boxed in. I like to be able to go any avenue that I want to go.
Have faith in me, who did it like this for you? You came with no baggage, you left that behind you. Why you then told me, please let me remind you. This is something that I take.
That's such a hard question. Album, it's a toss-up between My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Good Kid, Mad City for me. Mixtape, though, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you, honestly. There's a lot of great mixtapes. I don't know if I could tell you one, though.
Just have a little faith in me. Just have a little faith in me.
I mean, when it comes to album sequencing, honestly, I think J. Cole's up there too with album sequencing, and I think Drake's there too when he wants to, when he really sits down and really wants to make that album, he could. He's done it before. But I feel like it is a lost art. A lot of people are just slapping things together and calling it an album. But yeah, I grew up from that era where like the album from top to bottom was cohesive. So, I try to do that in my own music or my own albums or projects, EP, whatever you want to call it.
Have a little faith in me. Oh, just have a little faith in me. Just have a little faith.
When I was about 8, I tell the story all the time, but I was in a private school and they had a choir. It was a Christian private school, so it was like a church choir, that my mom put me into forcefully. And, I became the lead singer. And I think it started from there, just understanding, harmonies and, different sections of music and, notes, melodies, and from there, it was just that curiosity and, want to explore a little bit more. So, I mean, from there, my sister, if you reference the timestamp, the original timestamp cover, she went to piano classes and singing lessons, and I would shadow her. And I'd pretty much just follow what she did. And, you know what I'm saying? And from there, it kind of grew into this next thing where I would always ask my mom, to buy me this tape recorder with a microphone. And I would just record every single day. And I don't know where the tape is. I think I have the tape somewhere at my house, but it's literally a tape of me when I was younger, just singing and rapping. And then from there, I was introduced to, you know, Kanye West, through the wire, and I was blown away. It was just a whole nother world for me, just a sample, and then from there, that's what made me go into production. And the story goes on from there.
We ain't getting younger. Plus, you know all about me. Won't give a reason to doubt me. Just have a little faith.
Some of the challenges was just really trying to learn how to finish the song and just release it. For the most part, I would create, get halfway and then, find something that's wrong and just try to work on it and try to fix it if it wasn't right in my eye. And I think that's what took away the fun for me. It took away the fun from me, and I wasn't enjoying the process anymore. And I was feeling a bit stuck. So when I got back, it was more so, okay, how do we get past that stage of trying to be too perfect? And, it was tough, but I think I'm in a space now where, I'm not rushing things, but I'm not trying to be too perfect. It's just that balance. So.
I can say it louder. We ain't getting younger. Plus, you know all about me. Won't give a...
Usually, if I don't like to force things, so if I get to a point in a song where like it's not naturally just coming to me and I'm just stuck, usually I just push that to the side, and then there's songs that come and just it's a natural flow, and it just happens organically. And then those are the songs that when I listen back to it and I feel good about it, I'm like, all right, we're ready to go with this. We can rock with this. But I gotta connect to the song. I gotta feel good about the song. It gotta make me feel something, and that's usually how I select what goes out and what doesn't.
Worry, you must have never heard it. I can say it louder. We ain't getting younger. Plus, you know all about me.
I think there's a lot of politics, of course, but I think beyond the madness and beyond the politics, there is a growing scene, and there's a lot of great artists, a lot, and I do believe that Toronto is responsible for the sounds we hear today. If you look at all the sample creators and producers coming out of Toronto, we're responsible for you know a lot of great music that's out right now. So I mean, it's a growing scene. I feel like there's a lot of great artists. There's a lot of great producers. I just feel like there's a lot of minor things that we need to correct, to really push to the forefront of music. If we're being honest, that's where everything is. The infrastructure out there is just it's built, for artistry and for creatives. Whereas out here, I think recently we just lost the Mod Club, right? So it's just these little things that were here that helped artists, get to the next stage is just being taken from us. And I don't feel like we have enough studios open. I don't think we have enough affordable studios open. you know, for people that probably don't have it as well as somebody else. I just feel like, yeah, there's needs to be more programs maybe, you know, that help push creativity. And, you know, there's a lot of things that Toronto could do that maybe the city does or doesn't have the money for. I don't know. But I feel like in comparison to LA, like LA just has the studios. Everywhere you go, there's studios. You know, everywhere you go, it's just built for artistry and creativity. So I feel like that's why everybody, you know, gets on and then takes the flight out to LA, because that's where it's at, honestly. So I mean, that's up to the artist that leaves, right? Because the more successful artists that come out of Toronto, they got to come back and, you know, push this a new movement out here. You know what I'm saying? The higher ups need to come back and fund, you know, these studios and fund these buildings and, you know, talk to the government or whoever to really expand what we got going on here. There's no point in leaving and then building in another country or in, you know, another place. So, you know, that's what I would personally do. You know, I'd come back and figure out how to expand out here and put more people on from the city and try to, you know, make it like the Atlantas of the world and the LAs. So
Yeah, okay, you came a long way from where you started. Yeah, okay, it's been all about you, don't switch your topic. Yeah, okay, all these eyes on you, don't rush your process. Yeah, okay, let it fall down on you, collect your profit. Yeah, that's okay though. All these diamonds dancing over your body look like
I mean, I believe that I'm an introvert, right? So I'm usually self-reserved. I keep to myself. You know, I don't really go out too much. I don't really talk to many people. So, you know, when I'm feeling a certain way, you know, as cliche as it sounds, like my outlet is writing. You know, it's music. So when I get into that space and I feel like I need to talk about something, I try to, like, you know, create sonically what it is that I'm feeling, if that makes sense. And I try to, you know, I just try to write out what my thoughts are and get it off my chest and just put it in the music. And, you know, sometimes I feel like it's something that can be released to the world and I'll put it out. Or sometimes I just hold on to it because, you know, it's that dear to me. You know, I just keep it and I listen to it for myself. But for the most part, like I said, I don't really talk to much people, so me being vulnerable in my music isn't that hard for me, you know, because it is a scapegoat for me. It is something that I do to get away from the madness around me. So.
that I take time with. Been my favorite and you still mine. See you working on the late night shit. You got something that keeps me inspired.
Well, I mean, I kind of, so when I'm making music, I kind of try to approach it as if, you know, I was a movie director. And, you know, I try to open it up. Like, it's weird, but, like, I have scenes. Like, each song is like a scene in my head. So, like, choices, I just try to open it up and really recap, you know, where I was coming from to where I am now. And then going forward, it was just like where I am currently. And it's just the hunger and the want or the need, you know, to be heard. So it's more aggressive in tone, you know, in the beat selection it becomes more aggressive, then it kind of tones down towards the end where I become a little bit more vulnerable. And, you know, because I feel like that's life, right? You know, in life you have your moments where you're high and then, you know, you have your moments where you're just super low. And I just feel like any body of work that I do, it has to represent, you know, life, the highs and the lows, you know what I'm saying? The good times, the bad times. So I just try to make sure it was sequenced in a way where when you listen to it, you can picture it and it kind of just plays as this movie about my life. you know.
But on the show, you from a city with the nightlife and
So with 100 times, you know, it's it's just about that high point of you know, love, when everything is just great, it's peachy, you know what I'm saying, and the love, or the connection for one another is just super strong, you know. I say you prayed for me like 100 times, for me you'll go 100 miles. So it's just like the want to, you know, go above and beyond for each other. And then, you know, it drifts off into For What It's Worth, where it's more something catches you off guard, or, you know, when love throws a curveball and things aren't as great as it used to be. And, you know, you're just trying to figure out, like, is this something we're going to work, you know, towards keeping, or is this something we got to let go? And then life is the aftermath, you know. It's what happens after the crash, and coming to the realization that, you know, there's still this lingering feeling, you know, that I'm, or, you know, the person listening is trying to get past. And, you know, but it is what it is, you know. Love can be cold, right? So that's what that meant to me personally. But everybody that listens to the song, they get their own interpretation from it, which is the beauty of music. So
business. Not my first, but it feels different. Love when you take it up to 10.
religion, yeah, man. You know, I was raised in a Christian household. So, you know, when you're young, that's all you believe, right? You were taught to believe that. And then as you get older, you're introduced to, you know, these other walks of lives, you know, whether it be Muslim, you know, Buddhism, whatever it is, whatever religion it is. And then, you know, you start to learn, you know, certain groups have hate for each other. And then you kind of just you really dissect everything. You kind of look at the bigger picture, and it's just like we're all praising a higher power, right? It's a common theme, you know, amongst these groups, but yet, you know, these same things cause us to have hate for each other. So it kind of just, it really makes me question a lot of things. It makes me really wonder why it is the way it is. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy because I've had a lot of discussions with, you know, friends that, you know, probably don't believe in the things that I believe in personally. And I'll pick their brain and try to understand why it is, you know, they think the way they think. But to me, I just feel like there's just one higher power, you know, that's greater than us. And I don't think religion, and I don't want to offend anybody that, you know, is religious that's probably going to watch this, but I personally just don't feel like it makes sense. I feel like there's something deeper, and that we're all in some way, shape, or form connected, you know, by this higher being. So
Just have a little faith in me.
to go hard, honestly, I feel like before, once again, trying to be this perfectionist, it caused me to have these long pauses in between my releases. And I just felt like if I can go back maybe 6 years ago, I'd go crazy. I'd drop anything that I worked on and just drop songs. So people, because at the end of the day, people need to, you know who you are as a musician, and, you know, want to connect to you in some way, shape, or form, but they can't if they're not getting enough music from you, you know. So that would have been my only advice to my younger self, is just go hard and drop as much music as you can.
Louis on my slippers. Ballin' make you jealous.
One, I'm just applying pressure, you know, and I think going forward it's going to be that way, you know, consistency. But, you know, my decision to drop Somber after the EP, it was just, I look at Somber as like a smoke break, you know what I'm saying? Like, all, you know, all this work, all this crazy thing happened, and then Somber was just like a vacation for me. It was just me, like, you know, getting away from everything and just, you know, talking and having that conversation with myself and just recollecting, you know, to transition back into that second run. So that's all it is.
Hard on my sleeves, I'll be gone till November. But that don't concern them, although make it worth it. That don't make me perfect.
I know people might get mad, especially like the older people, but like I would kind of think that this is the golden era. I mean, right now you have the freedom to do whatever you want because the internet's such a powerful tool. So, I mean, before you needed a label to, you know, get your music to the world. You know, you needed a label to fund you. You needed a label. The label was the gatekeeper. You know, without them, you couldn't do anything. So I feel like with the internet now and Spotify and streaming platforms, which, you know, still has the pros and cons to that, but that's a whole nother story. But with, you know, the DSPs being accessible, you have like endless opportunities. You can do whatever right now, and you can build a brand on your own with your team, and all you need is a TuneCore and great music, and you'd be surprised what you can do. So I feel like it's great. I feel like it's great. I feel like, you know, the DSPs do need to pay artists a little bit more than what we're currently getting. But for the most part, I feel like the keys are in our hands now, and you know it's really up to us as creatives what happens in the next decade.
Push a nigga like a baby stroller. Something that they don't know.
The fans wouldn't know about me. A lot of people think like um, I'm just like super serious person. Like I fucking I'm goofy as hell. Like all my close people, all my friends would tell you that, you know, like I do have a sense of humor. I'm not super like serious all the time or angry or whatever it is that they say I am. You know, I'm a very down to earth guy.
The skies in my fan. Home like it's day.
The next steps musically is just to expand the brand. You know, I have big plans. You know, as long as I'm here, you know, as long as I'm breathing, there's air in the lungs. I have plans to, you know, take this worldwide. To be honest, as cliche as it sounds, that is a plan, and you know, we're building something that's itching closer and closer. So you know, these next few months and even 2021 is gonna be it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. You know, we got some stuff lined up, so.
Cool. Is there anything else that you want in there?
Not really. I'm not sure.